actually.
Okay.
Yeah, Akhil, we have already discussed so many concepts. Whatever you are seeing in this project, base enums, menu items, EDTs, forms, tables, and extension menus, and all those things we have discussed. So today discussion is all about queries. Okay. Is that again something happened? Okay. What is maybe? So generally the queries in the sense we can write the queries in three ways. We can work with the queries in three ways. One is query object in AOT. Second one is select statement.
Screen share.
Share lo undandi already. It's already in shared. Akhil, can you see my screen again?
Kanipistunda.
Okay, then let me stop and share again.
Okay. మీ నేమ్ అవుతుంది కనబడుతుంది అంటే మీరు ఏ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ లేదు మీరు డిస్కస్ చేస్తారు అంతే కదా.
Now I have opened. Yeah. The notepad I am sharing now.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So the second one is, the first one is query object in AOT. The second one is select or while select statements. So this is we will use it in the coding. The third one is query classes. This is also using in coding. Okay. So what I am going to discuss today, I am going to talk about the query object. Okay. So how to create a query object and how do we reuse it? Especially the first one is what is queries actually? Queries are nothing but to fetch the data from the database and use that data and to get or fetch that required data by using the queries. Say for example, if you want to bring the data from the sales table, if you want to fetch the data from the customer table to show in the form level, or if in the coding part, if you want to fetch only that specific record based on the customer ID, so you can write the select statement. Okay, so that's how we will use the queries. That is the main purpose of queries. That's how actually the first one is query object. Okay, if I go to AOT classic view, data model, in the data model we can see queries. Okay, the list of queries whatever we are seeing here, these are all the standard queries. Okay, if I want to create a new query, so go to your project, right click on your project and add an item. Sorry, 1 minute. Add a new item. Once you go to add a new item, go to data model and select your query. Give the name, the query, whatever the name you would like to. Because in my project I have the student table, I would like to create a query per student table. I'm just giving simply QR, but for understanding for us. So student table QR, that is student table query. It's creating now. So this query has been created here. So once the query is created, so inside that query you can see methods, events, and data source. So wherever you see methods, you will have the events concept. We know that already. Okay. So here in this case, whatever the table I have created, student table, that table I'm going to use this in this query. Okay. So this is my student table. This I am going to add into the query data source. Okay. The student table has been added here in the query database. Once you go inside, you can see the fields, ranges, data source again, group by, having by, order by, right? So if you go inside this student table, you cannot see any fields because in that student table data source properties, we'll have an option called dynamic field. Dynamic fields. Here, the default one is unselected. So that means it's not selected any fields here. That is the reason it's not showing anything. So here you will have other options, no and yes. If you make it as, if I make it no, for example, let me take the no initially, still you will not get any fields. but you will have the option to right click and add a new field. Adding a new field means nothing like adding from the table. Simply, you can go to this fields here. We select whatever the field we want from the table, from the student table. Okay, that field will be shown here. So that required fields only you can select when you set the no on the data source properties. If you set instead of dynamic field no, if you set that yes, it will bring all the fields from the table. See, it's automatically getting all the fields. Okay, you cannot remove any fields. It will take all the fields. You cannot remove. When you set no only, you can remove some of the fields if you want. I set no. So it is allowing me to delete whichever the fields are not required for me. So I'm deleting data area ID, for example, partition, rec ID. So save this. So your query is ready now. The basic query without having any ranges and group by or having or order by, the basic query is ready now. So by using this query, what I can do, I can create a form now. The form level, I can add this query. Go to right click on the project, add new item, select the new item, and come here. I'm going to create a form. User interface, select a form. For understanding, I'm keeping this actually namings. Don't think that you will be doing in the same way in real time. Okay. Student table QR means query form. So once your form is ready, so in this data source, whatever the query we have created here, save that. Once it is saved, take this query, go to your this another tab and paste it here. Or else you can copy paste also. Right click on this query, copy this, go to your form, go to data source, right click and paste it. Because it is here already, it's not allowing us. So it's taken here, data source query. So we have to remove in the form properties. So once we remove that, and remove this, I can right click and paste. You will get the paste option now. Once you paste it, so generally if you want to do through properties and the form property, we'll have a concept called data source query. So you're adding a query as a data source here. So here you can select your queries. Whatever the query you have, that query you can select here and you can assign. Since I have copy pasted, it's automatically taken care and it has assigned in the property. Okay. When you see here in this data source, you are finding two objects, two nodes. One is student table QR and other one is student table. So the student table QR is your query name, but actually inside your data source name is student table. So you're getting your query with data source. This query will show the structure. So how many data sources you have, how it is looking like. Okay. But if you have multiple data sources also, you can see in this query here. But end of the day, from that query, you have only one data source. Take this data source and you can design your form. From here, it's normal. The fields and all, you can take it from this student table data source. I click on this design, apply pattern. I'm just setting up custom pattern time being. When I said the custom pattern is nothing but we don't have to follow any pattern template. Once you set that custom pattern, it's automatically however we want, we can take any control. There is no any restriction on it. I'm taking one grid. So whatever the fields we want, I can add into that grid. Adding into grid. It's done. So your form is ready now. So once your form is ready, if I want to open this form, what we can do from Visual Studio, we can open, or else we can open from the UI by adding the menu item. That menu item has to be added to menus. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll create a menu item for this sales QR, student table QR form. So it's a display form, right? For the form, we can create the display menu item. So go here and select it is a display menu item. So this display menu item has been created. Go to properties. Here we'll set the object type. Object type is default, it is showing as a form. So I can select the form now here. Student table QR form. Okay, I have assigned here. So for your menu item, it has been assigned. If you want to set the label, you can set the label here on this menu item properties. Setting like student table QR. So what I'll do, I wanted to add this menu item in the user interface, the one of the module. So we have already created for one of the module extension. For which module we have created extension? The menus. For accounts payables, we have created the extension. You open this extension, copy this menu item. Go to your extension. So wherever we want, you can paste it there. I'm adding into vendors. I click and paste it. So my form is ready by using query. So build your project and go to UI, open and see your form. Are you able to follow me?
Yeah.
Building is taking some time. So once this building is completed, so I can refresh my user interface page in the browser. There I can see my option. So build is completed successfully. So there is no any warnings or errors. So now go to UI and refresh your page. So application is open now. So go to your module. In which module I have added? I have added in accounts payables. So once we go to accounts payables, here you can see in vendors, student table QR. Open this and see. So I can see my table now. So I have not set the form caption. If I set the form caption, you can change the name actually. Student table details or student details. You can set whatever the caption you want. Okay. So you can see the data here. So this is how we can, work with the queries. I mean, not with all the types. This is only the AOT object. Even this query we can reuse it in coding also. We can use this query in coding also. We can reuse it because it's an object, right? We can reuse this. But when you're trying to write the queries through code, there only you can write in the code only. But if you are creating a AOT object, that can be reused in the coding also. You can use it in the form level or report level. Even we can use it in the coding level also, coding area. Okay. Any doubts till now?
Yeah, okay, it's fine.
Fine. So other two things we'll discuss later once we are familiar with some of the basics in coding side. Now I'm going back to other concept. I'm just going to talk about labels. Labels concept. So labels is the concept mainly to support for the multiple countries. The label is the concept to support for the multiple countries. That means generally whenever we are opening the AX application, we are saying in the English language, right? So generally that can be when the customer is accessing in French language or in a different languages, he wants to see all the captions or field names and all those things in their language actually. If you see here accounts payables, vendors and the student table here. The complete things he wants to see in his language. To support for multiple language, so they have introduced the concept called labels. And parallelly, labels will help us to define the user interface captions or labels by using this labels concept easily. Because in the field names, if you put like student number, it's showing as a label. Actual field is STUD ID. Okay. So the name will not give you the actual required field names however you want. Okay. Field names are always we cannot give it the spaces and we cannot give it the different special characters and all in the field names. Field names cannot be shown as the real field names cannot be shown in the UI. So for that we have to create labels. Okay. Let me go to our table and show you. We go to student table. So these are all the fields I have created. Student ID, name. But in the UI, if it is showing only just student ID, it's not looks good, right? So for this, what do we do? Yeah, sorry.
No.
Okay. So for this, what do? We are using the extended data types. In the extended data type properties, we can set our label. Okay. Student number I have set. So this is the label which is showing in the UI. You understood the concept, right? Now how it is getting this field name? Actually, the field name is STUD ID, but the field name is here showing is student number. So that is which we have created label for that EDT. Whatever the EDT we are using for that field, since we have created the EDT label, so that is showing automatically as a student ID field name. Till now, you guys are clear?
Yeah, okay.
Akhil, are you understanding? Sorry, Akhil.
అర్థమవుతుందన్న.
Okay. So, how to create that labels? Creating normal labels in the sense, you go to EDT properties or field properties, you can go to the label and you can create the normal label here. But this label is showing only on English, right? This we call it as a constant values actually. Okay. Constant values in the sense directly we are keeping as the English, we are whatever the label we want, we are setting up. But if a French guy is opening and if he wants to see in French language, he can not see that because we are keeping in English language. So to support for multiple languages, we are creating the labels. Okay. So let me see how to create that labels. So first of all, before creating the labels, we have to create the label file. Okay. To create the label file, go to your project, go to add a new item. So once you come here we have a concept called labels and resources. So you can have the labels and resources, select your label, give the label file name. I'm not creating a label, it's a label file. This label file will create it once actually, one time for the project. For example, my project is practice project, right? I'm giving PRA, for example. My label file is PRA. Add. So once you add that label file, it will pop up a window, wizard. Here, your label file has been taken as a PRA. Whatever the label file we are creating, label file ID, you have to ensure that you are not taking any the standard label files, file names. So these are all the list of label file names which has been highlighted here in the note. You should not take that names. If you take that names, system will not allow us to create. I don't think so. PRA is here anywhere. So once your label file ID name added, click next. Okay, once it is coming to this place, here you can select what are the languages you are going to prefer to create the labels. The default selected language is ENUS. I want to create my labels even for French legal entity also, for example. So in that case, what we will do, we will select the French. FR. FR is French. Add this. So two labels we are selecting now here. Click next. Then you can see what are the languages you have selected for this label. Label is PRA. Okay. Then finish it. It will take some time. Are you able to follow me?
Yes, I am.
So it's got created. So once that label files are created, you can see here the label files folder. You can see two labels, label files. One is our label file name is PRA, right? The
Yes.
first language is ENUS, PRA_ENUS. The second one is FR, PRA_FR. This is how you can see two label files has been created. Okay. Are you clear till now?
Yes.
So once these two label files has been created, you can open that label files and we can create our labels. That label file.
One is French and one is English US, correct?
Exactly. English use is default one. Extra we are creating only
But
French.
the language converter, how to take it this one? The language converter. How it works from
What
English.
is that language converter?
From English to French, if you want to
No, we will not do any conversion.
Okay.
Whenever you are creating a label, we will create the label for it. So that label, we will have the same label, but that will be used for the two languages. I'll show you now how it will work.
Okay. So even if you want to develop in that French, you need to know the French language.
Not required actually. You will get in Google Translator. You will get right for student number English to French. Get that label and use it here.
Okay.
Or else generally in the real time you will get the in FDD they will provide. Or else if they ask us to use the translator, we will use the translator.
Okay.
That that user interface field names and button names or that tab names and all whatever you are getting, that will be that all the labels will be created in French language and we'll assign that.
Okay.
If that is if it is ENUS, we don't have to do because default it is showing in ENUS, right?
Yes.
I don't know why this is taking so much time. It should not take this much time. There's something wrong. Actually, it's already created here. When I open this, it has to open. Something went wrong since. Save it as. something went wrong. What I will do, I will open another Visual Studio.
Okay.
So it's got open my Visual Studio. Another instance I have opened. The old instance is there already.
Okay.
Yeah, it's open. In the old instance itself, it's got opened. I'm closing the new instance, Visual Studio. Okay. So once we open this, if you see here, PRA dot French label. Okay. So I'm opening the PRA ENUS. So I click and open. Again, it's gonna take time. Oh my God. So once it is opened, you will see like PRA underscore ENUS. So what you can do, let it open. Here we will create our labels. So this is PRA ENUS label. So what do I want? Student number I want, right? So what I'll do, I'll take a new, I'll create a label ID. Student number I'm giving. Actual label is student number. Okay, description if you want to add, you can add it. Okay, description I have written. So once your label is created, this is the label, this is the label ID. Okay, label ID you can keep anything. Okay, but it should not be unique. It should be unique always. The same label ID it will not allow. Save this. Once it is saved, you can right click on this your label ID and copy. Okay, so that means what will happen? So go to your EDT, sales student number, go to EDT properties, remove this label and keep your label ID. What is label ID? What it has been taken at PRA colon student number. I have copied only student number, but it is showing here. It's automatically copied default with that label file. What is my label file? It's a PRA at PRA colon student number. Okay. You guys are there?
Anna.
Are you understanding? Yeah, hello, Srinivas.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So this is how we'll create the label. But if I want to see the same label in French, so what I'll do, I'll open the French label file. This is the French label file. Right click, create the same label with the we'll use the same label ID with the different label, French label. Let me show you that. So once it is here, so whatever the label ID we have created for English, the same name we have to take. What I have created here, the label ID is student STUD num. I have taken. The label is I have taken in English because this is ENUS. So this is the label ID. Label ID is student number, NO. So label is, you can keep it like student number, whatever we want, based on our need. Go back to this one. This is in French, PRA FR dot label. So here we'll paste, sorry. So label should be the same one. Student num, label will be whatever I want, I will do it. Now it is saved. So what I'm doing, so I want that French language for student number. So this is the French language. I'll copy this. Okay, copy that. Go to your create this French label. The label place you can paste that. Okay, so that means the same student number in French. This is the label. The same student number in English. This is the label. Let me show you that. Oh my god, it is taking so much time. I don't know some issue with this. So you're understanding, right? The label ID is same. Okay. If the company is opened in French language, they can see the French label. The company is opened in the English language, they can see English label because I have created labels for both languages. So this is English student number because ENUS. This is French, the same label ID, but label is different. So in this case, what will happen? Copy this label ID. Okay. Then you can set this label to your caption or field label, right? So go to your table. That is EDT. I'm sorry. You are able to follow me, guys, or do you have any confusion? Simple thing. Always we'll have the label file. We have to create a label file for a project. This is also one time we'll create. Whatever the labels we want, we'll create in this label file. That labels will be assigned to the field labels or EDT labels. Wherever we are creating labels, there we'll assign. Okay. In this case, student ID is EDT. The EDT properties I'll assign. EDT has been used in that.
And I have a doubt. Why we are developing the code or this EDT, whatever maybe?
I'm sorry.
If you develop in French language, the headings, everything should be in French language, correct?
Yeah, I have given French language only, no?
Yeah,
French
but from the scratch level, can we create the French in French language, or it's a only conversion? The financial reports, if you need French language, can we convert into French language, or do we need to develop in French language?
We don't have to do anything. See, for this label, you would like to show French, right? So
Yeah.
that means you have created French language. Whenever they open this application in the French language, for them, student ID field will be shown in the French language.
Okay, if it is open in the English language, it will open in English language.
Yeah, English only, no? Because I have created for English also, I have created label, no? That is where I have created this label ID is same. That's what I'm telling you. If you see here, the label ID, what is the label ID? Student num, student NO. What is this language? French language. Okay, if you go to English, what is the label ID? Student NO.
Okay.
Label ID is same.
Okay.
If you go to your EDT, and what I am specifying? I'm specifying label ID. That is my EDT. Go to your student number EDT. Here I'm going to set my label actually.
Okay. Okay.
When you see here,
if you want,
PRA,
we can convert financial statements into the French or Arabic, whatever maybe. Even if you do in English, we can convert, correct?
Yeah, it's kind of converting in the sense like you are creating two labels for both languages.
Okay.
So whenever we are referring with the same label ID. Label ID is same for both languages.
Okay. Okay.
Even whether it is in English, I have taken the same label ID.
Okay.
Whether it is French, I have taken the same label ID. Label ID.
Okay.
But labels are different.
Okay.
So finally, end of the day, it will show the labels.
Okay.
You are assigning label IDs in the properties.
Okay.
You see here, I have assigned the label IDs. When you copy and paste it, it will take like this. At PRA, PRA is your file.
Okay.
Colon and student number. So if you select here, you can see the label. What is the label has been taken here? Student number. Because currently I am into English language.
Okay.
Actually, in administration or basic modules, you can change the language in UI.
Yeah.
If you change the language and if you try it, it will show you in French language.
Okay, thank you.
Now we have set the language, this label to the EDT properties. What is that EDT? Student number. The student number where I have used student table. For the student ID field properties, I have used the student number.
Okay.
See that EDT. So automatically this field label will be assigned from that EDT.
Okay.
At least you're listening, man. The other guy.
Let me save this.
Doesn't listen. 2 minutes.
And build this.
Just leave.
So once the build is completed, from the UI point of view, if you open and see, it will show you the field name is student number. Okay, this is how we'll create the labels. This is very important. It's a best practice that we have to create labels for every EDTs or wherever we are setting up the labels. So build is completed. Go to UI. Refresh your page. It will take time.
Hello.
Hello, Yabandi. So it's refreshing my page. So once it comes, I can show you.
Okay. అదే ఇక్కడ కూడా మాకు బెడ్ బగ్స్ కి ముందు కొడతారు.
Okay. So almost we are done now. So just 2 minutes. When I go to my form, my form is in rentals. If I open that form, cost details, for example, not card details, by mistake. So ours is student table, right? We have kept in accounts payables, photo accounts payables, and see your vendors, student details. Once you open student details, wherever you are setting up that label, you can set that student number. This is the label. It has been taken from that label. Okay. So this is how we'll do. Any doubts you have on this concept?
Yes, let me see the videos and I will ask you later.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.